Is this something for Houston to build on, or is this something where it's such a painful loss that you're like, oh, geez, like here we are again, 0-2, 0-3 to start the season?
No, I'd be really encouraged here if I was Houston. I mean, like Charlie said, you can't guarantee the shots are always going to fall. But I think there were some other impressive performances. I'm over here looking at the stats, and going 12 for 14 in the red zone is pretty good for a team that hasn't always been that consistent. I think when you talk about having big spaces to find openings in the red zone, that all compresses and defense maybe gets a little bit easier because there's less space to defend. So being able to be that clinical with the opportunities that you have, I think is a really good sign. Um, good sign of good coaching also. They're bringing a new coach on this year. But while we're talking about Houston, got to shout out Mark Turner, 7 assists, 4 goals, 700 total yards. It's very, very impressive for anyone in the league. So maybe a bit of a breakout game. Maybe, I know he's like not quite a breakout star. He's a little older than your typical, recent college graduate. But, the UFA has a ways of unearthing people who have been overlooked elsewhere. And maybe we have someone in the making who we've been overlooking.
I think like Houston is pretty firmly in the basement of the league. But I think that gives them permission for somebody like Turner to just go off. Like, why not? I'm going to throw all those throws, there's no demand for efficiency that there are going to be for teams in the top third of the league. And so we get to see, sometimes bad teams, if they've got playmakers, if they've got strong throwers, they can be extremely exciting and dangerous because they're playing with house money.
I'll say also, like, Houston has the model in Austin, right? Austin, for the first few years of its existence, was bad, and it was losing to Dallas every chance they got, and they slowly built and built to were more and more competitive, and then eventually was able to flip that script. So hopefully the Austin doesn't suffer the same fate that Dallas ultimately did, and hopefully they stick around as a franchise. But I think for Houston to be able to build with some younger players, they got Joe Thatchett out there, they got Xavier